Okay, so today we're going to be talking about The Black Tongue Thief.
You do this every
It's
time.
Very good book. I
Every
enjoyed
time.
it. It took me a little while to read it. I don't know why, because it is good. I do like it.
That's good.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I read a lot of it and then I stopped for a while and I started over from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the book's great.
And it worked out in the end.
Yeah, it did.
Good.
Good book.
I do want to read that one. That one's on my list.
Yeah. It's a little, some of the violence in that book is very casual though. Like they make, like, it's not like they treat it lightly, but shit just will happen out of nowhere.
Oh,
Where it's
really?
like, oh, that person's legs just got obliterated.
Oh, you're not talking like the characters just do it casually.
No, not so much the characters do it casually.
Where they're kind of like
violence just happens
bloodthirsty
to
for no
people
reason.
pretty casually.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll talk about that book
We're gonna-
another
we're-
time. We're not really talking about Black Tongue Thief.
We
Today.
are in the home stretch before Wind and Truth.
That's right. Oh my gosh.
So as
We
of this
are
recording,
getting closer and closer.
we're going to do 2 separate episodes, but I have read the final 2 secret projects that I had left.
He's caught up with
I
me
am officially
in all
caught
regards.
up.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Yumi today.
Yeah, Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
Yumi and the Nightmare Painter.
I loved this book.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's my favorite.
Mhm.
I don't know why I haven't been in a romancy mood, but I think if I am in that mood, yeah, this is like it. No, I know it's a really good book. I
Yeah.
just don't think I was in the mood.
In the romance mood.
I was more in the I want more Cosmere stuff.
I
mood.
think because
But that's why.
when I got my hands on this book, I was reading like the Sarah J. Maas books at the same time, and so I was on a big romance kick.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
just reading Brandon's style of romance was just like, yeah, like that's the perfect kind of.
He's got the whimsy.
Yeah, he does have the whimsy, but it was like yeah, like I can get to go from Sarah J. Maas's style of romance to like now one of my other favorite authors' style
Right.
of romance. It was just nice.
Yeah.
To throw that in there. So I liked it a lot.
I definitely enjoyed it. I think it was cool.
Mm-hmm. It is kind of more of a slice of life
I think
type
so.
book. You know, there's not a lot of action in this book.
No,
at
there's
all.
not. And
Really
that-
not until the very end.
And that's why I kind of said that I probably needed to be in the mood for it. Because again,
Yes.
I'm sitting there going like, no, I know this book is good, but I'm like, why am I not? It's because I'm
Right.
just not in the mood. Like
Yeah.
if I was in the mood for it, I'd be like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah, no, it's very slice of life.
It's kind of the same that I had with like Warbreaker. They're both insanely good books.
Yes, but Warbreaker is much more of a political drama.
Right.
Right. Like both these books are more of a focus on the characters.
Yeah.
Than
Then like the
any
overarching.
heavy action. Yeah.
Right. But no, I thought it was really good.
Mhm.
I thought it was a different take on the body swap drama.
Yeah, but
Not
it
typical
was a-
Freaky Friday type thing.
No, it was a good take on it.
Mhm.
I especially like how, because no matter what, that like no matter who was in whose body, right? It was always Yumi.
Yes.
Like it was always Yumi's form that like
That was
Painter
there.
would take or
Correct.
Yumi would take, right? So when they swap back to Painter's body, it would turn into
To Yumi. Yes.
which was funny.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Because when the first swap happens, you're like, oh, when like then eventually he'll swap to or
Mhm.
she'll swap to his body,
hmm
right, and then she'll play out events on the other side of the
Yeah.
on the his world, right? But
Right.
then you get that little twist, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it's just
So I
something
guess
different.
we didn't. We just went straight into spoilers. then
Wow.
at that point, whatever. At this point, come on, what are you doing? If
We're
you're-
sorry.
Yeah, sorry, whatever.
It's only kind of a minor spoiler. It's not anything big.
It happens very early in the book, right?
I think so.
But
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought the characters were cute.
yes.
I thought the romance was cute.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the power system was interesting, but I don't really need it. I'm not like,
I think the power system works for this book.
and that's about
in
it.
this world.
Yeah.
If we wanted to touch on this world again in the future, 100% could.
Wouldn't
I
complain.
mean, there was a shard in Residence.
Yes.
because
do we
now-
want to go into spoilers already? I think this one is just kind of like,
I
it's
mean,
cute. If you like romance stuff,
Listen,
Listen,
there's no way to talk about Yumi or Sunlit Man without heavy spoilers.
we thought it was good. We thought it was cute little romance.
Yes.
We're going in spoiler territory now.
Last non-spoiler thing I want to say about the book is I like to see Brandon do more romance. I want to continue doing romance.
I think he will.
I know he wrote this book purely because his wife told him he's good at romance, so he should do more romance.
I actually have been reading the postscripts a lot.
They're good. His postscripts are...
I really liked reading the Sunlit Man one.
Personal.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, the Yumi one was very cute. Because I think, like, I've known about the Tress one. I knew about the Tress, the reason why he wrote Tress before I even started the Cosmere. And I thought that was cute. But the Yumi one, I think, was even more like, that's nice.
I agree. It's that's very
nice.
Sweet. Yeah.
So that's non-spoilers, kind of spoilers, but not really
whatever.
That bad.
Deal with it.
So
what were we talking about?
You wanted to talk about the shard that we're there. We're in spoiler.
Yeah, straight into the shard.
Virtuosity? Virtuosity?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Let's look that one up in the Wikipedia index.
Well, I mean, it derives from virtue, right? So I think it has a lot to do with the, artistic nature of the magic system of the world, right?
Well, because I knew what Brandon was totally doing with this book. Because it's not just, it's not just a romance book.
Oh,
there's clear, subtle undertexts of anti-AI book.
Okay, so believe it or not, it was all coincidental.
For real?
Yeah.
Are you for real?
No. Yes, I am for real because he wrote this book during COVID. Remember?
Oh crap! You're right.
And so this was just one of those happy accidents where art and life just completely
that's crazy
collide.
That's so funny.
So when this book first came out and people were reading it, they were like, "Holy shit! I can't believe this came out at the same time." Because this book came out at the literal beginning
of the AI
uproar.
No, that's the first thing I thought of when they were talking about that stuff.
That's the first thing everybody thought of, right? So they're all like, "Brandon, how did you predict the future like this?" And he's like, "It's just it's just one of those things. I mean, that just
even
happens.
The thing,
it was a happy
that
accident."
Hoyt says in the book.
I know, yeah.
Oh my god.
So it really, it's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
That just happened.
That's cool though. I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I thought. Well, I guess I don't. I guess we can't really talk about it.
Maybe he had he had some idea of it when writing, but obviously he had no idea that
it wasn't that big yet.
Yeah, any AI improvements would come up that quickly, right?
To where it is right now.
So that undertext that exists in the book now, was not there.
That's so
when
funny.
He was writing it, but now because of the time it came, isn't that weird?
Yeah.
How
it's interesting
how art and works like that.
Sometimes do that.
The author had almost no intention of that while writing the book, but purely because of what was happening when the book came out, it brings out a totally new meaning to the story.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's
crazy.
Funny.
Yeah.
I like that. That's Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why.
It's cool to geek over that.
That's so well because that was one of the things I really want to talk about. And now I guess we can't really talk about it in the way I wanted to talk about it. Because he wasn't planning on doing that.
Right, it just happened.
That makes it so much better, actually.
I agree. I think so.
That's cool. Okay, well, yeah, so. So we were talking about the virtuosity.
Virtuosity.
That's funny.
Yeah, clearly has something to do with, the artistic nature, the way people express themselves and the way they use investiture through artistic means. Yumi and Painter, both their methods are through...
different artistic methods.
Artistic outputs, right? Yumi is stacking rocks, but
which I would assume is a real thing.
I definitely think it's a real thing from some culture. I don't know specifically. It sounds like something that would exist in our world, right?
I mean, you don't. Yeah, I mean, I would think there's a subtle art to the fact that.
I mean, you see some of those videos of people stacking. You see videos of people stacking rocks. Like stacking rocks is a thing people do, right? I'm just not sure if there's any culture that exists where that has significant meaning. I'm sure there could be. The world's a big place.
I mean, yeah.
But either way, right? Stacking rocks to her is definitely an expression of art.
Yes.
And then Painter paints. That's his expression of art.
You know what? I can definitely say you haven't seen it, but what her thing reminded me of heavily is from Studio Ghibli's Princess Mononoke with the spirits because it conjure spirits when she's doing the rock stacking. It just feels like a very Ghibli thing.
It gave me Ghibli vibes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I haven't seen Princess Mononoke, but yeah, it did give me like weird Ghibli vibes.
Yeah, it like I immediately thought of like the I don't remember what the forest spirits are called, but they have like these weird little like shaky heads that are kind of funny. And that gave me that vibe.
Yeah. Cool vibes all around.
I think it's cool vibes all around because the painter side is really cool. Yeah, with the shrouds.
Yumi's side is really cool because like, you know, got all this thing with like I mean, both sides have to do pretty heavily with spirits.
Yeah,
honestly, you know, like because Yumi's you know, like all about comforting these spirits,
correct,
and then Painter's all about warding off against like, you know, protecting people from these spirits. So
yeah, he's a painter exorcist.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sick.
Which is cool as hell. But when Brandon was writing this book, I think one of the things he was talking about is how he wanted to make like just one of those cool, like a job that would seem fantastical to us, but is an everyday thing in their world, in their context.
He did a really good job of that.
That's what Painter is, right?
Yeah.
Like to us, it's this fantastical, you know, crazy, like, oh my gosh, like he's protecting these people against ghosts by painting. Like that's crazy. But to him, it's like a 9 to 5 where he can barely afford, you know, rent and food and shit. You know, he's got dishes piling up in his apartment and all that.
Yeah.
And so
I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I think he does a really good job of balancing that.
I think so. Heavily. And
Painter's World kind of being on like the brink of like space travel as well puts the technology in this book in a very cool place.
It is in a weird place because I think this is the world out of all of them that feels the most close to where we are. Actually, I think it is
probably
basically where we are.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe
completely. Slightly behind.
No, slightly ahead because they actually got to the planet.
Well, true, but we don't know how far away their planet was. I don't think they ever explicitly say. Also, I mean, you know, you can't say for sure, but I'd say they're probably ahead of us in some things and behind in others. Because they have like those Heon lines, which are just straight up magical power lines.
Yeah, the magical neon power lines.
Yeah. So we don't have magical neon power lines. We can't do the same shit with those they can.
They're slightly ahead in some cases, but they're kind of stuck when a big cloud is around them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have a really cool technology.
I think so.
Thing going on over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Oh, do you want to talk about we kind of skipped over the shard, or we talked about it, and then
because they don't really go in depth on virtuosity. I think
they don't a lot. I know, but she's dead. Hoyd mentions that virtuosity shattered herself.
Yes, it wasn't a odium.
No,
on cell.
So virtuosity shattered herself.
Correct.
For
whatever reason.
Yeah. Weird as hell. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's one of the 16 bits of God, and they shattered themselves.
See, these are the things that make me really want the Dragonsteel trilogy to come out.
Yeah, I know, but hey, dude, that trilogy might not give us.
Oh no, I know, because what I'm hoping for with that trilogy is that they're not like constantly, but the other 16
know more about the people who took the power of the shards.
I would think, but I would think that's the point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Maybe not all of them all the time, but especially for like the ones that were dead when we already got there.
Yeah,
like Dominion and Devotions guys.
Yeah, true.
And gals,
Sky and Ash, I think.
Is that their names?
I think
I don't remember their names.
Their names. One of them Sky.
And then Virtuosity is dead.
Virtuosity
and then Ambitions. Like those four, they're dead before we even got here.
Yep.
So it's like it'd be interesting to kind of know them more.
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But
and then again, like, you know, back to like the shattering of a shard. Right? Like, you know, there's still a lot of implications behind the shattering of a shard. Like, does shattering a shard permanently, you know,
remove it?
Like, remove that power? Like, nobody, like...
Yeah, so there's no vessel for it?
Only the bits of power remain, or could the bits be reformed so a vessel could, you know, take up the power of the shard again?
I had wondered
that's a very big question.
I had wondered if they were priming Yumi for it in the book.
I don't know. Because remember, Yumi was really under the control of that machine.
Correct.
You know, so the machine
once the machine thing came up, then it went away in my head. Mm-hmm. But at first, I thought it was like, that's what they're priming her for.
Yeah. But yeah, by the end of the book, I think that idea kind of falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just weird that a shard is in residence in the system, but shattered itself according
essentially
to Hoyd.
Killed herself.
Yeah. So
is a weird way of putting it.
Yeah, no, I mean she did.
And what would kind of cause her to do that?
I mean, the shard's powers is still out there, but the host would definitely be dead if they shattered themselves.
Yeah, interesting. Why would they do that?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Hoyd in this book is really funny. And Design's actually more in the book than Hoyd is.
Design and Hoyd were like hilarious in this book.
Yeah.
Because Hoyd being a coat rack for 3/4 of this book was so freaking funny.
Another cool little bit about this book is that Hoyd talks about how he turned into the coat rack, right? Like he turned into stone, right? Or something like that. Like his body froze up when he arrived on the planet.
So he got stuck in time is essentially, I think, what he said. Like at the minute he stepped foot on it, he got stuck in time.
Yeah. So he basically froze and couldn't move.
Correct.
And he said it was because the planet tried to alter his memories.
Correct.
Right? Because that's what the machine controlling Yumi was doing, was altering the memories of her and all the people on the planet.
And he had a failsafe in place.
And he had a failsafe in place because, presumably, of what happens at the end of Rhythm of War.
Rhythm of War, yeah.
So
I would
how far after Rhythm of War does this take place is a big question, I guess.
Well, if Design is fully forming her, like kind of just acting on her own, without Hoyd guiding her and kind of thing, I would think it's after Wind and Truth at least.
Also, a very big question, because it's been a while since I've read this book, so I don't exactly know how Design's actions are described. But does Design have a physical form in this book?
I don't remember.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she's the
noodle shop owner
of this restaurant, and she's
like a person
serving people.
Yeah.
So carrying bowls of ramen and, cleaning tables and,
Yes, that's true.
So maybe she's light weaved her body to get those huge jugs and whatnot. But regardless of what's under there, like, is there, or regardless of what's on the outside, is there a physical form under there? Because remember at the end of Rhythm of War
with what Dalinar
there's some
and
people
Sigzil
trying
found
to give Spren physical forms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But she implied that it was a light weaving.
She did, but
she was picking up bowls.
She was, and Syl can like barely move a piece of paper. Like Syl, like in Rhythm of War, like it took all of Syl's strength to like flick one of the switches on Kaladin's, Fabrial device.
So is it like, is it a fifth ideal thing or?
Yeah, has Hoyd reached the fifth ideal? I'd wonder, but personally, I'm willing
Yasna's not fifth; she's fourth.
She's fourth, yeah.
But when she's fourth, because Ivory shows up as full sized.
Yeah, but Spren can just.
Oh, Syl just doesn't do that.
Yeah, Syl for the most part chooses to.
Oh, I guess that's true because Fenderama does it.
Yeah, Fenderana shows up.
Does it.
As full sized.
Yeah.
But regardless, like that doesn't influence their strength, right? Like even if Syl
being able to pick up, like
even if because Syl does it on occasion,
correct.
She forms into a full size person,
right.
But she would still be like too weak to really do anything.
That's interesting,
right? So that's my big thing is like, does she have a physical form, and does that relate directly to what we saw at the end of Rhythm
So
of War?
I wonder if we're gonna get that in Wind and Truth, because again, we'll get to it when we get to Sunlit Man.
I guess we'll see. I don't fucking know. It's crazy, man.
But
so many questions. Always so many questions.
Yeah, there's always another secret. Shut up. God. I love him. But yes, she's very funny. I cannot believe she actually was just like, yeah, boobs would be fun, so I'm gonna make my restaurant owner have big boobs.
Gave herself huge boobs.
Like they even describe when Painter's talking to her where it's like, yeah, he's like 19, so of course he's distracted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Like, Jesus, man, get it together.
Dude, calm down.
But also Design, what the fuck? Like, Design just thinks it's funny. Design thinks the weirdest things are funny.
Because it's human patterns.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are. I mean,
yeah.
So,
either way, Hoyd and Design are very good in this book.
Yes, because when he wakes up, he's like, why does it taste like paint?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I really want to know. I wish there was like a picture. I don't remember if there was a picture in the special version, but I don't think there is.
another thing to talk about, since we both have the special version,
yes,
and we both read from the special version, the artwork in this book
really good.
Is insanely good.
Really good.
Like some of the best artwork in a, based off a novel I've ever seen.
Incredible. Think it's the best one out of the Secret Projects.
Yeah. It doesn't have, my favorite piece of artwork is still in Sunlit Man. But I think overall this one has the best artwork out of all the Secret Projects. But yeah, we can talk about that piece of artwork when we get to Sunlit Man.
Well, I'm excited.
It is my favorite.
Brandon always kills it with the artwork. We're talking about this post, them showing the Bands of Mourning leatherbound with that. Did you see that?
Yes.
The one with
Wax and Steris.
Yeah. Oh, that one was really good.
Really pretty. It's crazy too, because that's like almost exactly how I imagined it.
Well, because my favorite is when he was at the FanX panel and he was describing another piece, which is Steris shooting the gun.
Oh, that's
on the train, and his their art direction kind of thought process. Because he described the fact that when the first picture came in, she looked more like determined when she fired the gun, but there was like 4 versions of slowly getting more and more like Steris, where she would be like, "What the fuck?" She'd be like, when she shoots it, kind of thing. And then they finally get to that final version where it's more like a exclaim kind of thing, and it's just interesting of him kind of talking about it because he does like a weekly art meeting with his artists.
Yeah, I mean, he just puts so much care into every little aspect of his products to make sure the quality is up to his standards.
Yes.
Yeah, we love you, Brandon.
Keep pumping it out. My wallet will cry more for it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yours will too.
Mine will too.
Yeah.
But we can get back to the main characters of this book.
Yes,
for sure. Because Yumi and Painter, I think, are 2 amazing characters.
I think so.
Especially Painter.
I think so.
Because he does have a very, he kind of has a bit of regression in this book, like throughout this book, right? Like he kind of goes back and forth a lot in this book, right? Like he develops and then he regresses and then he develops and he regresses.
It's a slow,
yeah, because he does start this book at like the lowest point in his life, right? Having like
no friends.
Yeah, no friends, not
dead
being
end job.
Accepted into the position he wanted. Yeah,
not really even at a dead end job. He's on the rocks basically at the dead end job. Yeah.
And yeah, like Yumi really, you really start to see her influence on him, and their care for each other grow, and they really do change each other into better people. Yeah, which I think is just great. Yeah,
yeah. I thought it was really beautiful. Cute because I guess like Painter was like maybe like a more modern Kaladin type. Somewhat, maybe not too. Well, I guess that's not fair because Kaladin's like whoa, like he's seen combat. Yeah, and his brother died in front of him in combat. So I guess that's not fair.
There are different kinds of depression. Yeah, and I think maybe Yumi suffered, or not Yumi, Painter suffered a little bit from it, right? But,
not to compare.
Yeah, not to compare. I guess trauma.
That's not a better way of doing it. Yeah, I just thought it was. I thought it was interesting. I guess it gave a more relatable because Kaladin,
Painter's in a more modern setting.
More modern setting. More
so
relatable.
It's much easier to see more of yourself.
Right, because he gives. Because again, Brandon talked about like he finally read manga to prep to write it.
Yeah,
and Painter has that typical shonen, like male.
Yeah,
kind of manga character vibe. Maybe a little bit more on the American side of the way that stuff is written.
Yeah.
But still has those vibes kind of thing.
For sure.
So, which I thought was interesting and it really worked.
Yeah. And then, on the flip side, Yumi is another amazing character.
Yes.
I think her journey through the book is also incredible.
I was actually worried that she was going to feel a little too much like Vivenna vibe, where she's like kind of like too pristine, too cool for school.
Yeah, but she really wasn't.
And I kind of, because I mean, like I didn't think they would be, but it was kind of given that vibe
at the beginning. Yeah.
At the beginning, but then it took a pretty sharp left turn, and that was really, like cool.
Yeah, you really see like, oh no, she's not really like that at all. She's actually kind of similar to Painter, where she doesn't really know Like
they're just kind of on the opposite.
Yeah, she doesn't really know what's going on either. Like they're both in this fish out of water situation, and they're both like nervous and unsure, and
it's interesting, I guess, going from the perspective of a person that has it all essentially, and all she has to do is it's simple, but that's not enough,
right? Like she still wanted her freedom,
right? Whereas he has like all the freedom and doesn't
do
really
anything
with it,
right? Well, he has all the physical freedom he could want, right? But like mentally, I guess he's not free. He's trapped.
Yeah,
and then a little bit of the opposite with Yumi,
right? So I thought that was a cool dynamic for the two of them. That kind of it was a cool dynamic. It was something different, because I mean, like the typical body swap is like, Freaky Friday. It's like, Mom, you just don't get me. God, to be young again. You're so like whatever.
Yeah.
And then Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan swap.
Right.
They're making another one.
Actually.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to. We can't make anything new, right? We just have to make stuff based on previous IPs. That's the only way to make money. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a good book.
It's good. I think it's cute.
Are there any other Are there any little scenes throughout the
book,
like the meat of this book that you can think of?
That I really liked?
Because I guess all we have left to talk about is the ending, really.
Any little scenes in the book that I wanted to talk about? Yeah.
Because I mean, again, for me, it's been much longer since I've read this one.
The festival was cute.
Yes.
I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Especially because she won the little like pink dragon.
Yeah.
And then she gave it away. I thought was interesting, because she still has that freedom, but she still has like almost I don't even know what to kind of describe, like comparison wise, what she is in her time. Would she be like a priest or like something, or a cleric
I'd
or
say
something?
Akin to a priest, akin to like a holy person.
Oh, she's
right? Like
so she's still like,
she's benevolent.
She's still giving to people.
She's a very caring, compassionate person, right?
So even though she's granted the freedom, she's still
it is nice to see a character that's just like, even though I got all this freedom and I won this thing, like, hey,
I enjoyed it for a time, and now
there's still that person that might need a little more than I do. So boom, and it's like, wow, like how could you not like Yumi? She's just a great character.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. And then, honestly, it was kind of cute seeing her and, what's her name? Go shopping.
Funny. I can't remember her name, because it's like the one I haven't reread. But I get you.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the ending where
the ending does have a lot of violence in it, right?
Yeah.
When
he saved it for the end.
The evil spirits kind of go on a rampage
and start like murdering people left and right. And have to say, like,
Painter goes on like a.
Well, it's kind of crazy that Brandon also inserted the whole like mommies and daddies gave us the higher jobs.
Yeah.
Because they're rich and famous.
Yeah.
And that was like, interesting.
Yeah.
Which is probably where I kind of got the reinforced, like, dude, he is going for the AI people throat. Kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just weird how it all works out, right?
It's a little weird.
Yeah. Like, man, he hates this AI stuff. Like, I don't know. Man, Brandon, is really.
do you have something to tell us?
For him.
Are you an alien?
Yeah, you can see the future.
Can you see the future or something?
Burning ATM.
He would.
Yeah.
He's crazy like that. But yes, it was very violent. It was really cool. I thought
Painter locks in at the end of this.
In.
Yeah.
Him being like, I only want to paint bamboo at the beginning, and then he's just like, let me be Van Gogh really quick.
Yeah.
And then like just does it so casually, and it's just like, and you gotta respect the memory on the guy, because he painted every single person from the village.
Yeah.
That's like at least 40 people, 50 people. And you have to draw it in like distinct detail.
And then
to put the soul, I guess it's the soul back into the displaced body.
Crazy.
That's nutty.
And then Yumi locks in at the end too.
She does.
Right? Like, I like how throughout this whole book, Painter is practicing Yumi's art form of stacking stones. And while he does get really good at it at one point, right? Like, Yumi appears at the end of the book where she just locks the F in and stacks like 10 times the amount of stones.
Yeah, there's
that,
I think there's a picture in the book with
could ever stack, right? Like there's just all these hundreds of stones being stacked up.
They're like one-story buildings tall. It's kind of nutty.
In their respective art forms, they really are like
the master class,
like the strongest, right? The Gojo Satoros of their art forms.
Yeah, they are.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
Because, I mean, it's interesting that Brandon made a whole fight where people are just like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Let me paint on the ground.
Give me a minute.
Can I have a canvas, please?
Yeah, can I have 1 second? Just stacking rocks. But it still feels like, very powerful and suspense.
If we ever got adaptations of this, it would be very funny to just see the montage back and forth, but also yet see how he can they can make it as serious as possible of her stacking stones while he paints furiously on the ground.
Yeah. This book, for a minute too, I thought this book was going to have a bit of a sad ending.
Yes,
I really thought Yumi was going to be a goner by the end of it.
Right, but you did not see the subtle foreshadowing with the novella on the TV, because the novella on the TV was he left and he never came back, and then it was like, oh, but then there was another episode.
Yeah, I saw that foreshadowing. But
but you thought that
you don't know if it's foreshadowing or like a subversion,
rolling you into a false sense of security.
You never know.
Yeah,
right. But I did notice that, and I did like that. Also, that's one of the other things is that Yumi was like obsessed with TV, right? Like Yumi loved television.
I did think that was funny.
And Painter was like,
dude, this is on every day.
This is like a normal show. Yeah, that's one of those cute things I liked about Yumi.
Yeah.
I just like how at the end of this book, you think Yumi's gone for a second, and then it's like, no, Yumi was so invested that she said no, sticks around.
I'm staying.
Right. Which, when asked, I believe he said she was around as invested, probably a little bit more than an Elantrian, which is crazy.
Yes, because Design, I think.
Maybe Design
did a reading.
Said it, yeah.
And she was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think, you're right. It was Design who said it, right? Where she was like, yeah,
she's like, holy crap.
Like, you're more invested than a Returned.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like probably more invested than like an Elantrian.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that she was like, oh, more invested than a Returned. Even higher than that, more invested than a Elantrian, which again just speaks to how
liking the subtle
hints that Elantrians are crazy.
The subtle hints of that, and I just like the subtle measurement system that we're slowly getting over time.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Because it's not to say that Elantrians are not the power scale here, but it's like your average Elantrian is way more invested than like a Mistborn.
Yeah.
Not to say that Mistborn aren't highly invested, because they are, right?
Yeah, but what if they can be?
Yeah, no, the thing is
there's always another secret.
Yeah, no, I mean, think of the tiers of Knights Radiant, right?
Oh, yeah.
The higher ideals you are, the more invested you're going to become. And obviously a full-blooded Mistborn is going to be more highly invested than a Misting or even a Twinborn.
And who's to say that the Knights Radiant you can't go past 5 as we know that they can go to. I mean, there's still like 5 books left that we haven't read, or 6 books left that we haven't read.
Honor is not there to control the power of the surges, right? So really have no idea how strong Radiants could get. And, on the flip side with, all the power systems of Hemalurgy and Ferrochemy and, Allomancy, there are people that can literally marsh who can just be little lord rulers walking around, right?
And alive for just ever.
So there's always ways to get to,
It's just, I'll say it, I've said it many times. It's so funny how because I am caught up now, how I still feel like I don't know everything.
Oh yeah, no.
I know so little. It still feels like.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Which is so great.
I think though the big thing about the Elantrians will end up being they have so much magic. And they can do almost anything with it, because it does really feel like their power system is just code it into existence.
There's got to be a glass cannon problem though.
Maybe
there's got to be something.
I'm sure.
Because how do you write that without making? I'm sure you don't want to fall into the Superman without kryptonite paradox.
I think it'll be they can burn through investiture pretty quickly.
Really quickly.
But again, like
that would make sense.
On their home soil.
That would.
I would never.
That would make sense.
Never fuck with Elantria on their home soil.
That would make sense as to why Shai has the door, the jars of door, in Lost Metal.
I think the things are going to be like you'll need to know the general layout of the location you're in order to draw a glyph of the area you're in, right? To connect yourself to the investiture of the world.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you're going to need a large supply of investiture to fuel your abilities.
Which is the door.
Unless you're on your home turf, in then which case you can probably just draw from the investiture of the Dominion planet. And Devotion, right? Because they were shattered on on Sol.
Interesting. So. Yeah.
Anyway, Yumi is kind of cracked.
She's a little cracked.
She's super invested, which is nuts. Yeah. And she's just gonna live a peaceful life with Painter at the ramen shop, which is just so cute.
You want to talk about the other person that was in this book?
Who is the other? Again, it's been
the goth girl that was sleepless the whole freaking time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like,
what were the implications of that again? Because I completely forgot about her. Was it ever implied who she was working for? Was she a nice one? Was she a mean one?
She seemed like a nice one.
Okay.
Because at least I think the way that it was implied was that she just wanted to be just another girl. In the human world.
Yeah.
But she draws she just draws. Like she drew like a bunny for Yumi or something.
Yeah.
But it turned out that she was a sleepless the whole time. And it was just like, what?
Oh shit! Right.
What does that mean?
I feel bad, reacting that way to some sleepless because like her, she really just does seem like a girl that wants to live a normal life.
You know what?
Right?
What do you mean you feel bad about reacting?
Because
why?
Because there's this. It's almost there's this prejudice against sleepless that they're all spies. They're all working for someone. They're always listening to you.
Okay,
right, kind of thing.
Let's be fair.
Right,
this is a hive mind species.
Yes,
we have this is one of the only species where we have literally nothing on their planet.
Pretty much,
and they're hive mind species. They have the capabilities of essentially taking over anybody at any time.
Their own kind of individual colony, though.
I think you are allowed to be a little suspicious.
Sure. I'm not saying you're not, but there is also a part of me that's like, man, am I racist for thinking
it's a fictional race?
This crab person was spying on me. Not me, but all my favorite characters. I don't know. All I know is that you got to be on the lookout in any Stormlight book. If there's a crab. If Brandon mentions a Kremling,
it's not even just a Kremling because Hoyd's pen turned out to be a Kremling. So it's really any object or person.
That's the thing.
He has really outdone himself with the body stealer kind of thing with these things. Yeah,
there's Kandra, there's Sleepless.
I think the Sleepless takes it to a whole new freaking level.
There's Lightweavers,
because the thing with the Kandra is that's very Invasion of the Body Snatchers vibe. Because Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they're just little spores that came out into plants, and if the plant's in the house, it injects and then it sucks the life out of you, and then just makes a new body that's just a plant person, right? That's what Kandra just feel like to me. It's just you're just eating the dead body, but that person can be dead already. They don't have to be alive,
right? But that's the thing. You could impersonate, you could kill somebody without anybody knowing, and then impersonate them. And as we've seen, Kandra are incredibly talented at imitating the people whose bodies they take.
But with the Sleepless, it's kind of just oh no, it can be anything.
Yeah,
it can be
object.
A pen.
It could be
could be one. That could be one.
Yeah,
I could be one. You could be one.
The pen thing is really crazy.
The pen one was kind of the big one. Not only
because it can become a pen. No, it can become a pen so realistic
that
and
Hoyd
similar.
Doesn't even realize it.
Yeah, Hoyd doesn't even realize that.
Not even
changed.
Just Hoyd. It's Hoyd and Yasna in the same freaking room.
But it's also Hoyd who said he has protections that should prevent this sort of thing, right?
Yes.
It's Hoyd who is that character that like, oh, it's like, oh, that's the guy who should know every single magic system that exists and have like some little bit of
correct,
like info on it, or like, how it works, or like have something from it, right? It's like, what the hell?
That's a little weird.
Yeah. No, Sleepless are crazy.
Sleepless are crazy. I wonder if we'll ever go to their planet.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
They're going to be spider people.
Luke is afraid of spiders, everybody.
I don't want to go to the Sleepless planet.
I do.
That sounds like hell.
Oh, we should talk about the fact that the planet that is close to the Yumi and Painter planet, it has Shodell on it.
Oh, yeah. It does have Shodell.
The fish people.
I don't know why you keep calling them fish people.
Because on the Coppermine, they're fish. They're described as fish people.
Okay. I'm telling you, I've never heard anyone describe them as fish people, but maybe that's a me thing, right? So I don't know. I've just heard them described as like bone white forearms.
Like just a person that's bone white with forearms.
And like, I don't know, maybe some odd facial features, but like I've just never heard the word fish people used as a description. But maybe I'm wrong, Here's the thing. You know how much we know about Sleepless? We know 100 times less about Shodell. So
we know where they're from.
We don't even know that they're from Yolen.
Yeah, we do.
We know that they were on Yolen. We don't know that's where they came from.
I think the implication is that, yes, they are from Yolen.
The implication, we don't know.
Because of the implication.
Because again, now they're on this planet, right?
Because nobody's living on Yolen but Frost anymore. He's just chilling out alone.
All alone.
Poor guy.
Yolen. Damn.
Poor guy.
Listen, we don't know shit about Shodell, okay?
For now.
We don't know shit.
Maybe in Isles of the Emberdark.
Maybe. I want to start seeing more Parshendi. Singers. Listeners. Parshendi is the racist term. It is.
I just, I mean, I'm not sitting here saying like, it's like, what? You can't, I mean, you can be racist to fictional races, but it is kind of funny.
It is a little funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Not to be racist. Not to be racist. That's not the funny part. It's just funny. I'm just going to stop talking.
All right. Yeah.
I that's not what I meant.
I want to see more singers out in other Cosmere books, right? Because they are one of my favorite groups.
It's interesting.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are interesting. Them. I need more R'laine if I'm gonna have more.
I need more R'laine.
I'm gonna. I find them interesting. I don't find them like.
It's just in these space age books. I need to see more of them. Like I just like.
Well, what does that mean? That we're not seeing a lot of them?
Oh God, don't say something like that. That would be horrible. Can you imagine? That would be horrible, dude. No, don't. That's horrible. I'm not thinking about that. That is. Are you trying to say they get genocided? What are you trying to say here? God, that would suck.
It's really weird that they only get talked about in Stormlight. Like nothing post Stormlight mentions anything about the singers.
We barely have post Stormlight stuff so far. So let's not jump to any conclusions. All right. We have 3 books, 1 on the way, that are future space age Cosmere.
Yes.
So let's chill.
Sure.
Let's chill out. I think that pretty much wraps up Yumi for us. Again, we both really like the book. Mm-hmm. We both think it's really cute.
Yeah.
Brandon needs to write more romance.
I think so. I'm sure he's
good at
it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
With like if he ever wrote
with the Threnody book, I'm sure that'll be very romance heavy book.
I wasn't gonna say that. The Night Brigade, the subtle undertext of romance.
Maybe, you never know.
I honestly thought I would think he could do with Nightblood. If he ever writes the Nightblood book, not of Nightblood in
romance. No, you're talking about like.
Well, Nightblood's already betrothed to destroying evil.
You're talking about Vasher and who's the name of the girl he made Nightblood with? Yeah, maybe they did have a romance, right? I guess we don't really know.
I think there was an implication.
Either way, it turned south for her.
The mother of Nightblood, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think Vasher and her created Nightblood together.
See, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
See, when a man and a woman love each other,
they make a sword.
And they collect 2,000 returned souls.
They make a sword.
They make a sword.
That wants to destroy evil. Does it know what evil is? Nope.
Yeah.
But it will destroy it.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's Yumi.
So that's Yumi. We're about to record Sunlit Man right after this. Yeah. So that will be coming up soon. And then... yeah, we're close, and then Wind and Truth's gonna be.
Oh God, I'm so hyped!
Ooh. All right,
so hyped.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah, see you right after this.
Bye.
Bye.